Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Beauty and Grace Podcast.
Welcome back to Beauty and Grace Podcast. I'm your host, Mariah Gillespie, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys today and share my hot take opinion on social media, using it day to day, and how it can affect our mental health, but not just the bad, but the good social media can provide to us as well. If you are someone you know who's struggling with navigating social media, this episode is for you, where I can give a few practical pieces of advice we can add to our day-to-day habits and lives to succeed and prosper. I can't wait to tag along with you guys, so come on!
Hey guys, and let's jump into today's episode on social media. One, I just want to check in on my gals and pals. Mostly gals right now, but pals, if you're watching, we're here for you too. But I just want to check in on you guys, see how your week has been. How is everybody doing? I am so excited to be here with you guys today. You have no idea. Today has been this week has been a stressful week. I hope you guys are getting some good rest. I will tell you, this week for me, I don't know about you, has been filled with stress and no rest. On Tuesday, me and my husband, we had to take our puppy. Here's a little story for you guys, story time. We had to take our puppy, Piper, to urgent care because she cut her leg on something and it was bleeding. She was fine, but guys, I never had a dog, ever. So I was flipping out because she's like my child. I was like, we've got to go. Somebody help me. But also something happened prior to that where I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go nuts. I have no idea what's happening. I thought I was having a heart attack this night, guys. At 9 p.m., we take Piper to the emergency vet hospital, right? We get there at 9 and they tell us, okay, she's totally fine. Just needs a little bit of stitches. We'll wrap her leg up. She's good to go. They come back and talk to my husband and say, hey, it's going to be probably 2 hours. Because, guys, animals in a vet hospital is so sad. I was so sad. So the reason it was going to take 2 hours, they said, is because a Chihuahua had just come in because he had just been in a tussle with a coyote. A coyote, guys. I was like, oh my gosh. So my husband gets back in the car after he brings Piper in and we're waiting. It's about an hour and we're like, okay, we're going to go get some food real quick. We'll be back. They said they would call us if anything changed. Mind you, this is 9 p.m. Now, 10 now, it's an hour later. There's a lady getting out of the car next to us with a cat. I do not like cats. But all I can hear, me and my husband turn, because as soon as we hear the cat get out of the car with the owner, meow, meow, meow. Guys, this poor little cat was just whining and crying the whole time. I felt so sad. So we leave. Moral of the story is, guys, we did not get our puppy back and get back home until 2 a.m. So from 9 to 2 a.m. we had no puppy, and 2, we were waiting, no call, nothing, starving. Got the food, felt better, but then 2 hours go by still. I'm like, wow, somebody help me. So that's just a little story time. It was just wild, just didn't get any rest. Working on the podcast. Not this episode, but I've got great and exciting episodes for you guys coming out soon. And I'm so excited for you guys to hear them and just hopefully be able to connect and be able to take advice and helpful, practical daily advice to your life. Today, we are talking about social media, and I want to just express with social media, as I talked about in my other episode, anxiety. With social media, anxiety does play from social media. So I just want you guys to know that, again, you are not alone. We all face this. We all face comparison, maybe making idols, or just whatever the case may be that we talk about in this episode today. You're not alone. You are loved and the Lord loves you, and we are going to tackle this and we are going to find practical ways to help our daily life when it comes to social media. All right, guys. So with social media, I want to talk about the platforms that we have. We have TikTok, which boomed, especially during quarantine when we're all confined to our areas. But TikTok, we have Instagram, which you can share, which is like Facebook too. You can share reels, stories, highlights, just your daily life, what's going on, moments in time for other people to see, to be able to connect with others. There's Twitter, which is now called X, which is weird. I don't use Twitter, so if you use it, please let me know how to. Maybe I'll make a Beauty and Grace podcast account on there if I need to. There's Twitter, we have Facebook, we said TikTok, Instagram. What else is there? There's a whole bunch more. But anything regarding social media and just being able to see other people and connect all the time. With social media, we are able to connect with people. Like, I can be right here in North Carolina and I could communicate with someone all the way in Italy. And it's just crazy. It's cool that we're able to connect with people in ways that our parents and generations before weren't able to, but it also has had a suffering impact in ways on our society today and just on mental health. And this is something, also backtracking a little bit, that I've been dealing with this week. It's just, obviously I feel like, one, as a woman, but two, as a person, we just all deal with comparison differently. But with social media a lot this week, just comparing myself to others, comparing your life, and just, one, I need everybody to remember that whatever that person is posting, it's just a highlight. It's just a good part. Like, everybody's life is not honky-dory all the time. It's not easy all the time. It's not this lavish all the time. It's unrealistic. So just keeping that in mind, don't take it too literally and too to heart and thinking, oh, I want XYZ, or oh, I should have that because they have it and I see on social media, oh, shouldn't I be happy in this season because they're happy and they're in the same season as me? No, life is completely different. We're all on different journeys, different walks, different things. And social media is just a big, happy highlights, unrealistic of what everyday life looks like, kind of real. Now, my hot takes on social media are, I think social media is good in so many ways of being able to communicate with others that aren't close to us, or friends that I may have had that lived here that don't live here anymore, and just being able to keep up with their lives and see what they're doing. I love that aspect, but it also just, my hot take on it when it comes to a negative way, it just affects us mentally and it makes our anxiety worse. It makes us feel like we have to have the next biggest thing, the next newest thing. We need to get here in life and we're here in life. So it's just messing with our emotions, our mental and our soul, and just our walk with God. Ultimately, it just makes me sad that it has been doing that, because and one, like the way that I'm using social media to spread the gospel of God. That is one great way that we can use and cultivate social media to be able to spread the word, to be able to tell the truth and spread light to others that need it, and give advice to other people that are going through the exact same things that you may have gone through, that you may be going through, and being able to be a beacon of Jesus's light to others, for others to be like, hey, wow, what is so different about you that I need in my life? And that different thing is Jesus. My hot take with social media is you just need God to fight this walk, because the enemy is going to throw out a whole bunch of things on social media, on people's platforms. And the way that the enemy works is in lies. And he's going to start delving in lies to yourself. And then you're going to start, one, please do not start believing them. But as human beings, we all have fallen short. We have all fallen into those moments of like, oh my gosh, like, yes, I'm going to believe this, like that I'm a failure, or that I'm not doing good enough, or that I'm not in the right place, right time, kind of thing. That is the enemy's lies. The Lord has you exactly where he wants you, girl. Exactly where he wants you. And even though you can't see it right now, even though it may not be easy to see, especially with us scrolling daily and seeing all these great things, and then you're feeling like, oh my gosh, like, where am I in life? My life doesn't look and feel as great as it's looking and feeling for that person. Social media is just a scary world, because I feel like it can bring you down. It can bring you up. It's like a train of emotions daily. It can make you laugh, smile, you see something funny, but then you see something sad, but then you see something where you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have that. It's just a constant tornado, I feel like, that is never ending. So with social media, guys, what I really want to talk about is, one, especially when it comes to the Lord, is one, idolizing. I know that we all have, like me, have our favorite content creators, our favorite podcasters, favorite Christian content, favorite whatever TikTok platform that we use. But let me ask you something. Let me ask you a real and deep question. Who is sitting on your stand? Is it God, or is it this creator, this app. Like, what is fueling you genuinely, and what are you looking up to more than the Lord? Because, hey, well, one, it could be God. God could be that awesome reigning over our life, which he should be the top thing. But sometimes we get lost, and it's like, ooh, like a shower of rain, shower cloud. We get lost right here in this cloud, and we're scrolling, we're getting deep into seeing people's lives and seeing how great it is, and then you're on their page and you're looking at more and more, and then you're on their YouTube and looking at their daily vlogs and trying to mimic their life almost, which isn't your life. Your life is completely different. Trying to mimic their life. And so that person becomes an idol, and God is under that person now. So this is God, this is the idol. We need to take those idols down and put God right back at top. Because I can sit here and all day, and with my personal experience, I'm going to tell you guys, I have had social media content creators that have been my idol for a time, probably because I wanted what they had, and I was going to strive to get to where they were. I don't want to say necessarily being like them, but doing exactly what they did to get what they have, because I want that. And that's just, one, that's not right. And two, that's just not going to bring me fulfillment. It's like materialistic stuff as well. Like how you get this thing and you think, oh, it's going to bring me so much happiness and joy. I'm so excited. I'm going to be completely fine after I have and receive this one thing. But then you get that thing. You have it for like 2 weeks. And then what happens? It's like Christmas. You get that present for like a month, and you've had it for a month. What happens? You either forget about it, you don't use it anymore, or it just doesn't have your attention span as much as it did, right? So that is something that is so clearly spoken about in the Bible. God tells us not to have idols above him, not to have people above him. The first and foremost thing that we should be wanting in life and wanting to look like and wanting to seek and wanting to have is looking like Jesus, is looking like him, is having that kind of faith. Like, the Lord is the only thing that is going to bring us full fulfillment. Not things, not social media, not how many followers you have, not how many likes you have, not how many people are looking at your page. What is going to, and not having that person's life. It's not going to bring you fulfillment. God brings us fulfillment. God is that missing piece in our heart that we need, and that we need to receive and embrace and give our lives to him. Because whoa, once you guys take that step into being like, okay, God, hey, I'm going through this person I'm idolizing. I know it's not right. It's not bringing me fulfillment. Lord, I need you. And when you say those words, he is going to come and meet you where you are at. You can be on the floor, like right now, crying on the floor, and he is going to meet you on the deepest level he needs to meet you at. He loves you. He's protecting you. He's guiding you, and he wants you. He wants you. He is a heavenly Father who wants us and is never going to forsake or leave us. So keeping that in mind with social media is, honestly, guys, we should not be idolizing and finding fulfillment on social media and something that is thumb scrolling above the Lord. The Lord should have full reigns and first reign of our life. When we start idolizing other people and idolizing things, it drags us into a dark place, and it drags us into a place of, one, you either find out, oh, this isn't giving me fulfillment, or two, this could be you going and finding new and other different, better things you think are better, and trying to find your fulfillment in those, and in someone else's life, and trying to just mimic what is going on. It's just not going to work like that, guys. You guys aren't going to find fulfillment or joy or happiness in one thing, and the only one thing that you will find joy and get joy, especially when things get hard, is the Lord. I promise you. Another thing I want to talk about is not trusting everything social media shows you, especially when it comes to idolizing people. Is, yes, oh my gosh, this person looks awesome, and this person looks like they've got their crap together. Excuse my language, but it looks like they've got their crap together. And you want to have your crap together, because I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, like, I'm right there with you. Do I have my stuff together right now? I feel like I'm getting there, but look at me. If you guys have been here for the past few episodes, I used to be a dental assistant. I lost my job 2 months ago. For a stupid reason, and I cried for a while. And now I'm jumping on this wild journey of being able to teach the gospel, being able to share the Lord with you guys, and trusting him with that, and trusting him with myself. But you cannot trust everything that is posted on social media, because we will look and be like, wow, this person is doing fan-freaking-tastic, or like, wow, their life is fan-freaking-amazing, and I want that. And then we turn and look at ourselves and like, okay, I'm nowhere near that. So like, what do I have to do to get to that? Let me tell you something. Like I said, social media is a giant highlight reel. I cannot profess this enough, and I cannot proclaim this enough. It's a highlight reel. You are not seeing every single thing that is going on in this person's life. That person is definitely going through things too, whether it's stress, anxiety, hurry, and constant fear, like constant go. You don't know what's going on in their lives because you don't know them personally. So you can't take everything so personal to where you're like, okay, I've got to have this because it looks good. It may look good, but if we jumped into the camera with them and jumped into their everyday lives, I'm sure they've got things going on, whether it's from a family member to arguments, to fights, to sickness, to broken friendships, to sin, to broken hearts, anything. There's so many things going on in our day-to-day lives. I'm sure that we all have moments in our day where like, oh my gosh, this just ruined my day. And it didn't actually, but your day gets better, but it didn't actually ruin your day. But we have those moments where we're like, oh my gosh, this ruined my day. But oh, I'm going to go and post 2 hours later with my friends, me having a great time. See what I'm saying? So not trusting everything that's depicted on social media. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what their finances are. You don't know whether they're making it or whether they have the Lord in their lives, whether they're doing the right things, the right steps. You have no idea what they're going through. So just not always taking it too personal. Another thing is also just taking a look at yourself. Are you going to post something that is bad? Something that is going on that is crazy in your life? No. So think about it like that. So no, you said no, right? I said no. So that person is thinking, am I going to post what's bad? No, they're posting everything that's good. So just keeping that in mind. And then be careful who you are looking up to and placing as your idol. Your idol, like I said, should be God. But if you're looking up to someone like a mentor, say, and God's still at the top of your reign, but you're looking up to a mentor or something, say, be careful who you're choosing, because one, you don't want to be misled. You don't want to be led in the wrong path. You don't want your trust to be broken by someone, but also just being able to see, like, did that person walk through something? Did that person go through something that I personally went through? And if it's showing that through like what they have posted, maybe connect in that kind of way. But be careful who you're looking up to. There are definitely accounts and people that are just trying to suck you in and tell you lies and just feed into your anxiety, and you don't want that. If someone is posting something that is making you compare, making you anxious, making you stressed, making you sad, making you feel lonely, making you feel like you don't have anything, unfollow them right now, because that is not a case. That is a lie from the enemy. And if that person or thing is going to keep popping up on your feed daily and feeding that lie into you, you don't want that to keep coming to you, because we're not going to get better. So unfollow those people right now. Pause this video and go and follow the people that have been bringing you down, have been making you feel like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough. Because that's just not what we need in our lives. And especially with social media, since it is something that we all go on every day, and sometimes people can spend hours. I don't know how you do that because my eyes hurt, but spend hours on social media. Think that way. Think like, oh my gosh, like, what am I looking at? Who am I feeding into my daily life? Because whatever you're feeding to yourself is what you're constantly going to keep thinking, bringing up to yourself as well during the day. And we don't want negative thoughts. We want only good and God glorifying and helping thoughts. Now, the top 5 things people struggle with from anxiety. This is one big thing that I really want to talk with you guys, because I feel like it goes unspoken sometimes. I feel like it goes unrecognized. And I feel like some people, and especially parents with younger generation, just trying to figure out how to work social media, just trying to figure out how to work social media around their kids and how to have controls and be able to help their kids and all those kind of things. This is what social media, if we get too wrapped up into it and we start making social media an idol and get too wrapped up into it and spending way too much time onto it instead of actually getting out to the world. I'm looking at my window, but actually getting out into the real world and walking outside, taking a break from the screen. These are the 5 things that can happen. Depression, anxiety, loneliness, self-harm, suicidal thoughts. This is so sad that social media, one, is supposed to be made to build people up, but in contradiction, it also brings people down so much now. From haters to hate comments, that brings in so much anxiety, that brings in loneliness, that brings in so many bad thoughts to people. One, that the enemy is just trying to feed into yourself. I want you guys to know, please do not believe what other people are saying, because one, they probably don't know you. 2, they are bored behind a screen and don't have the guts to say it to my face. And 3, they don't have a life. They are upset with what's going on in their lives right now. They're sitting behind a screen and finding the time. I could not imagine giving anybody any kind of hate comment. But also, who wants to take the time out of their day and be like, "Ooh, let me type out this hateful little comment"? Like, no, like, how disgusting. Get out of here. Whether it comes to hate comments, people just downgrading you and stuff like that from social media and being able to be in touch with people, that's what makes it hard, is the bad people. Like, there's so many good people, but there are so many bad people trying to tear you down and making you feel all of these 5 most struggled things. 1, you are not alone. There are people outside of our phones. We need to connect with people face to face, true connection, true physical connection with others, because we're not going to grow real relationships, real friendships with people just by over the phone. We need to be in person, see how they talk, get their tone of voice, and actually knowing them. So if you're getting a hate comment, listen to Mariah right now. They don't know you. They don't see you. They don't know your everyday life. So why do they matter? Period. When it comes to comparison, as a woman, comparing myself to another girl's body, oh my gosh, she's going to the gym, she looks like this, she has this muscle definition, she has this that I'm trying to grow. Okay, so what? She has it. So what I need to do is work myself, not just because she has it, but work on myself, because that's my own goal. Work towards it for myself and get to it. I don't need to compare myself to another girl. Like, great, does she have it? Cool. Great. Do I not have it? Great. But that's the way that God created me. I don't have to have something that someone else has. But if it's something that I'm trying to work for, it's only by God's grace that I'm going to get it. Not by watching somebody else on a screen, and not by being like, oh, I want to just be exactly like you. It takes my own actions and my own self-determination to go through with my goals. When it comes to loneliness, it's crazy the amounts and the study of how many teens from my age, so 18, I'm not 18, from 18 to 22, like the amount of loneliness that this generation is feeling when we have all of this stuff, from computers to phones to podcasting to YouTube, to be able to connect with people, but we still all feel so alone because no one is genuinely trying and caring. Because social media is not the type of place where, yes, do people care? Yes. But having genuine one-on-one, and not just one-on-one, but physical and in-person connection with others, that is what is going to help us not feel that loneliness. Social media is not going to fill the loneliness void that we have in wanting to have friends and people. Finding those people in everyday life will. Now, with another thing is anxiety. I've noticed, and I'm probably sure that many of us have noticed, the first thing that we want to do is grab our phone when we wake up. You see the notifications that are sitting there, whether it's like a text from mom or from brother, sister, whatever, and then you go through the notification bar. You know how there's a notification bar, and then you just see all of them, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, and then you're just like, okay, click. One, not very good to start off our mind like that, especially if we woke up anxious already, but we're feeding into our anxiety by scrolling. One, the scrolling, I feel like that habit makes our anxiety worse because we're not doing it. So we're like, oh my gosh, I have to scroll. Or if you get bored, you feel like you have to go on to social media, when really, if you get bored, you can grab this and do your quiet time, or grab a book, play a video game, do anything besides just scrolling constantly and feeding yourself other people's content and life. Now, social media is a great thing because we can spread the word, we can get out there to other people. But one thing I really, really want to get through to everybody today, and the main focus of this is not letting social media get to you, get to your daily life, and get to your mental state and your soul and where you stand with God. Some practical tips. When it comes to not letting social media get to you, one, you can set screen time on your phone if you have an iPhone, or I'm not sure how Samsung works because I'm an Apple girly, but you can set screen times to where you're only on the phone for like throughout the day for 4 hours. My screen time, guys, I'm not even going to tell you what my screen time was a week ago because it's embarrassing. But with that, that's kind of my job now, trying to do content creating and spreading the word. It's just a little bit scary because I don't want to be on my phone this much, but I do because I want to spread the word of the Lord. So what do I do, guys? Help. But just trying to figure that out. Screen time, you can set screen time and you can it will shut down the apps at a certain time of the day so you can not look at it. You're not going to be on it. You can't get into it. Go read a book. Let's go find something. Get your mind onto something else. Find new habits. When you're waking up in the morning, instead of picking up your phone first thing, pick up the word. Go, or actually pick up a cup of coffee, because that's actually me. Throw some nice cold water on your face, go downstairs, get you some coffee, walk around maybe a little bit, and then get into the word, go to the gym, do what you need to do. Journal or spend time with the Lord in writing and in prayer. You can do that and substitute that instead of, oh, I have this urge to go on social media and I have this urge to be on social media right now and look at what the X, Y, and Z person is doing. Instead of that, go and journal. Go and self-reflect on yourself, self-reflect on what God is teaching you, applying what God is showing you in your everyday life, and really soak in and find some rest time for yourself where you can tune out and shut out from the world. Because yes, does the world need all of us? The world definitely needs us. But we all need at least an hour of the day away from the world and just away from people, where you're by yourself and you're not even scrolling on the phone. You're able to really hear your thoughts clearly and not the voices of the world and others that social media is throwing out to you every day and all the opinions. Being able to form opinions on your own as well. Another way to not let social media affect you as much, guys, I know I've pressed on this, but I can't press on it enough, is prayer. To fight social media, to me, I feel like social media can just be the enemy all around, spreading lies, because you hear these lies, and that's how the enemy works, is in lies and trying to get you to believe in these things that aren't even true. What you need to do is turn around and run to the Lord. That is exactly what we need to do to not let social media affect us. Sit in prayer, sit in a quiet room, maybe for just a few minutes. It doesn't have to look the same every day. It doesn't have to be an hour, 30 minutes. It can be maybe 5. Or maybe when you're doing the dishes, take the time and just start talking out loud to God about like, hey God, I'm going through this. I know I'm having a problem with comparing myself. I don't want to do that on social media anymore. Will you help me? And he will grab your hand and he will say, yes, I will help you. Now, will it be hard? Yes, but with self-disciplines and self-control and with God and asking him to help you with that control, anything, and I promise anything is possible, but this definitely is possible. Go to the God of the universe. Talk to him. Tell him what is affecting you and what is going on in your mind, and he will bear that burden for you, and he will work within you to break those down. He will break those walls down to where you are not comparing all the time, where you don't feel envious of another girl's life or of another godly girl's life, and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't feel that godly. No, it's just a lie. The Lord will bear that burden. He will work in you. The Holy Spirit will set something in you, and you will take off in such beauty. I know this is easier said than done, but sometimes really can't care. You have to let what people say slide off your back because, like I said, they don't know you. They have never met you probably, and they are going through something hard as well. So just remembering that, and I know it's easier said than done ignoring it, but try to ignore it. Try to ignore it. And if you can't, be like, hey, God, this was said. I know this isn't true. I'm going to fight the lies of the enemy and what he's trying to get me to believe. And I'm going to turn the truth of what you say of me, that I am your daughter, that I am a treasure, that I am beautiful, that I am smart enough, that you have equipped me, that I am capable enough. Feeding in truth is what is going to make us live in truth and have our lives be full of joy with God. Another practical tip that I have for you guys for not letting social media affect you is putting your phone somewhere where you cannot reach it. Like when you're getting ready to get settled in bed or something like that, you want to watch a movie with the husband, go and put your phone on the charger upstairs in your bedroom and just leave it there for the night. I know it's going to be hard. You're going to be like, I think I'm going to go get it. No, come back. We're not going to get the phone. It's going to be okay. I think that's something that we just, this generation doesn't understand, that our parents do understand, is they didn't have phones at every beacon moment. You don't need a phone at every second. It's not healthy. It's not very healthy for our brains to consume and look at a screen all day 24/7 and not do something else with our lives. A piece of motivation that I want to give you guys today when it comes to social media is, hey, with social media, I want you guys to take in the fact that social media is good. Social media is not all bad. It's good in ways to where, one, we can spread the gospel of Jesus. Two, we can be able to connect with people we haven't seen in a long time, being able to see other people's lives and just see where they're at that you miss. It's an awesome thing. With social media, yes. Does it bring difficult trials of anxiety, loneliness, fear? Yes. But there are so many ways that God wants you to just be with him and rest in him and just give it to him and he will do the rest. I know it's hard, guys, and especially because it's in our everyday lives, but social media was not around 15 years ago. Social media was not around when I was 5 years old like this. So, or was I 5? 15. Oh my gosh, I was 7, but still, geez, 7. Like there's no such thing as Instagram or anything like that. Facebook had just come out. Facebook. It's just grown a lot. We're trying to adapt to new things and figure out where our place is with God, and just trusting him and knowing that we're not alone and that we also need to get out of our screens at times and get out to the real world and seeing people in person and finding connection in person as well. Finding ways to practically keep our eyes up and away from the screen as much as possible and really, really see the world around us. I feel like every time I'm in a restaurant, I can notice couples, or me and my husband do it sometimes, but we try to make a rule of no phones at dinner time or like at a table if we're sitting and eating. I just notice couples or friends, they're all just looking down and no one's talking to each other. Guys, talk to each other. Be there. Be present. Be present in where you were at, because one, time goes by really fast. I've been learning that one time goes by really fast. It's going to flash by your eyes, guys. And you don't want that to happen. You don't want to be like, oh my gosh, where did my day go? But your day went, look at your phone. That your screen time will tell you where your day went. You were on the phone all day. Get off the phone. I just want you guys to be able to connect in true life, but also knowing that social media, look at where we are right now. We're on a podcast. This is meant for great things, not for hurtful things. We want social media to uplift people, to make people joyful, and to also give them practical daily advice and just helpful ways that, one, the Lord can guide us, but two, just the everyday life and being able to share recipes from food or desserts or anything. It's amazing that we're able to do this, guys. So an encouragement to my people that are feeling alone and just lonely right now during the time of scrolling and being on social media, you guys are not alone. Get off of your phone and put it away, put it on a charger, take some days or some time, minutes, hours, whatever you need away from your phone. Really come back to God, sit in his presence, and find out what he is wanting from you, what he needs from you, and what he's calling you to do right now. And it will be amazing. Another thing with social media, Please do not grow envious, jealous, or comparing to any other woman or man, whatever the case may be, because we don't know what they're going through. We don't know what may be going on in their lives. We don't know whether or not things are really that happy. And we sometimes when we're scrolling, and like I said, if you have a favorite content creator or something, you don't know them personally, so we just really don't know. So I feel like we just can't take things as personal as I think we do with social media. And that's just been a big hard thing that I've been learning with myself a lot in the past 2 years, is not taking social media so literally and taking it so hard to myself, because I've just learned that I don't know that person. I don't know what they're going through. So it's a give or take. Like I said, picking the people and choosing right people and unfollowing the wrong ones, feeding good things into your life that aren't making you feel this jealous zeal or envy towards others. Because one, God does not want you to feel like that towards other people. You are beautiful the way you are. You were created the way you are, and you are created to be, we are all created to be different from each other and have different lives, so we can learn from each other and be able to, that's what the whole point of this world is, just bringing cultures and new things, and being like Jesus daily and looking like him, being more kind, being more sweet, being more loving towards others. So just a reminder, when you are scrolling through social media, remember that we don't know what's going on. We have no idea if everything is gung-ho and happy. All we know is where we are and who we are. Focus on the present, focus on who you are, focus on growing your relationship in the Lord, and really focus on your self goals, your ambitions, and really keep in mind of those idols, and that they are not going to fulfill you. They are not going to make life better. It may be good for 2 weeks, maybe even a month, but it's not going to last forever. God needs to be that top reign, that top priority in your life. And then that is where your joy and purpose and fulfillment is going to be unlocked and transforming. It's transforming you daily. And hey, is there a content creator or a person that you're like, oh my gosh, okay, they just look so godly, or they look like they're just doing so much better? Okay, then take a look at yourself and be like, what habits am I doing that aren't getting me to the goal that I have of what that person may have, but it's a personal goal that I made for myself of like going to the gym. What am I doing? I'm not having the motivation. I'm just sitting here scrolling. Okay, then what am I going to do? I'm going to put my phone down, and I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to put the action to my words, the self-disciplines, the self-control, and go out there into the world and conquer it. The Lord is with you guys. He loves you so much. I know social media is hard. Social media is difficult. We're still navigating it. We're still learning it. And I still have plenty of more episodes coming up about social media, to be honest, because this was just a get ready, get fired up kind of talk about social media, the hot topics, how I'm feeling on social media, what I feel like I see others do and just get from social media, how it affects us. There's going to be plenty more talks on this, and definitely more in depth and more practical tips to help you guys. But I just wanted to make this episode because social media is just popping right now. I'm trying to pop off on social media, and I just want us to have this good reminder of knowing that we're not alone, that we have got this. We just need to be present and keep our eyes fixed on Jesus. Even if we're scrolling, set in some good habits so that we're not completely on our phones and not in tune with where we are right now and where God has us, so we can be able to open our eyes and truly see what the world is going on in front of us instead of on a screen. And just a good reminder, and I hope a piece of advice to remind you guys that we're pretty much all the same. We all feel this way about anxiety. I've had so many conversations with so many people that are like, oh my gosh, I feel like this with anxiety, XYZ, or not with anxiety, with social media. Sorry, guys. But I feel like this with social media and XYZ is giving me anxiety. It's making me feel like I'm comparing myself, yada, yada, yada. We're all going through the same things. We're all thinking the same things with social media. We just need to be a little bit more open, a little bit more talkative about it. Just finding ways and better ways to God and being able to use social media with a better purpose, and just being able to love others well and being able to do life with community on a bigger platform. I love you guys so much, and I hope this episode does something with you guys daily in your life, whether it's implementing in a new habit of putting your phone down somewhere, grabbing a book, but just really knowing that social media isn't everything, but it's meant for good. We're trying, and we want to try for it to be made for good, but also just knowing, one, to the haters, you can hate all day, but we don't know you, so we're not listening to you. The enemy is just lying to you and is giving you and telling you these lies. Do not believe them. The Lord has something completely different for you, and it's okay to look different from everybody else's life. It's a beautiful thing to look different from everybody else's life. I love you guys so much. I hope this helps. Implement those tips, and I will see you next time on another episode of Beauty and Grace Podcast. Bye, guys.
Thank you for tuning in to Beauty and Grace Podcast, hosted by Mariah Gillespie, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment, and share, guys, and follow along for the journey. Bye!